They say miracles are past, and we have our philosophical persons who make modern and familiar things supernatural and causeless. Hence it is that we make trifles of terrors, ensconcing ourselves into a seeming knowledge when we should submit ourselves to an unknown fear.
Why, 'tis the rarest argument of wonder that hath shot out in our latter times.
To be relinquished of the actors.
Right, so I say, both of Galen and Paracelsus.
All the learned and authentic fellow.
Right, so I say.
That gave him out incurable.
Why, there 'tis. So say I too.
Not to be helped.
Right, as 'twere a man assured of a
uncertain life and sure death.
Just. You say well.
Yeah, I may truly
so what
say,
I've said.
I may truly say it is a novelty to the world.
It is indeed. If you will have it in showing, you shall read it in, what do you call it here?
A showing of heavenly effect in an earthly actor.
That's it. I would have said the very same.
Well, your dolphin is not lustier. Before me I speak in respect.
Nay, 'tis strange, 'tis very strange. That is the brief and the tedious of it. And he is of a most fascinarious spirit that will not acknowledge it to be the
very hand of heaven.
So I say.
And the most weak.
And debile minister, great power, great transcendence, which should indeed give us a further use to be made than alone the recovery of the king, as to be
generally thankful.
I would have said it. You say, well, here comes the king.
Lustig, as the Dutchman says. Why, I'd like I made the better whilst I have a tooth in my head. Why, he's able to leader a Coranto.
Mon du vinaigre? Is not this Helen?
For God, I think so.
Go call before me all the lords in court. Sit, my preserver, by thy patient's side, and with this healthful hand, whose banished sense thou hast repealed, a second time receive the confirmation of my promised gift, which but attends thy naming. Fair maid, send forth thine eye. This youthful parcel of noble bachelors stand at my bestowing, o'er whom both sovereign power and father's voice I have to use. Thy frank election make, thou hast power to choose, and they none to forsake.
To each of you, one fair and virtuous mistress fall, when love please, married to each but one.
I'd give thee Kirtle and his furniture. My mouth no more were broken than these boys, and writ as little beard.
Peruse them well, not one of those but had a noble father.
Gentlemen, heaven hath through me restored the king to health.
We understand it, and thank heaven for you.
I'm a simple maid, and therein wealthiest that I protest I simply am a maid. Please it your majesty, I've done already. The blushes in my cheeks thus whisper me, we blush that thou shouldst choose, but be refused. Let the white death sit on thy cheek forever, will ne'er come there again.
Make choice and see. Who shuns thy love shuns all his love in me.
Diane, from thy altar do I fly, to imperial love, that God most high, do my sighs stream. Sir, will you hear my suit?
And grant it.
Thanks, sir. All the rest is mute.
I had rather be in this choice than throw Ames ace for my life.
The honor, sir, that flames from your fair eyes, before I speak, too threateningly replies, love make your fortunes 20 times above her that so wishes, and her humble love.
No better, if you please.
My wish receive, which great love grant, and so I take my leave.
Do they all deny her? And they were sons of mine, I'd have them whipped, or I would send them to the Turk to make eunuchs of.
Be Be not afraid that I your hand should take. I'll never do you wrong for your own sake. A blessing upon your vows, and in your bed find fairer fortune if you ever wed.
These boys are boys of ice. They'll none have her. Sure, they are bastards to the English. The French ne'er got 'em.
You are too young, too happy, and too good to make yourself a son out of my blood.
Fair one, I think not so.
There's one grape yet. I am sure thy father drunk wine, but if thou beest not an ass, I am a youth of 14. I have known thee already.
I dare not say I take you, but I give me and my service, ever whilst I live, into your guiding power. This is the man.
Well then, young Bertram, take her. She's thy wife.
My wife? My liege, I shall beseech your highness. In such a business, give me the leave to use the help of mine own eyes.
Knowest thou not, Bertram, what she has done for me?
Yes, my good lord, but never hope to know why I should marry her.
Thou knowest she has raised me from my sickly bed.
But follows it, my lord, to bring me down, must answer for your raising? I know her well. She had her breeding at my father's charge. A poor physician's daughter, my wife, disdain rather corrupt me ever.
'Tis only title thou disdainst in her, the which I can build up. Strange is it that our bloods of color, weight, and heat, poured all together, would quite confound distinction, yet stands off in differences so mighty. If she be all that is virtuous, save what thou dislikest, a poor physician's daughter, thou dislikest of virtue for the name, but do not so. From lowest place, when virtuous things proceed, the place is dignified by the doer's deed. Where great additions swell us, and virtue none, 'tis a dropsied honor. Good alone is good without a name. Vileness is so. The property by what it is should go, not by the title. She is young, wise, fair. In these to nature she's immediate heir, and these breed honor. That is honor's scorn, which challenges itself as honor's born and is not like the sire. Honors thrive when rather from our acts we them derive than our foregoers. Mere words a slave, debauched on every tomb, on every grave a lying trophy. And as oft is dumb, where dust and damned oblivion is the tomb of honored bones indeed. What should be said? If thou canst like this creature as a maid, I can create the rest. Virtue and she is her own dower, honor and wealth from me.
I cannot love her, nor will strive to do it.
Thou wrongst thyself if thou shouldst strive to choose.
That you are well restored, my lord. I'm glad. Let the rest go.
My honor's at the stake, which to defeat I must produce my power. Here, take her hand, proud, scornful boy. Unworthy this good gift, the dost in vile misprision shackle up my love and her desert, that canst not dream we, poising us in her defective scale, shall weigh thee to the beam. That wilt not know it is in us to plant thine honor where we please to have it grow. Check thy contempt, obey our will, which travails in thy good. Believe not thy disdain, but presently do thine own fortunes that obedient right which both thy duty owes and our power claims. Or I will throw thee from my care forever into the staggers and the careless lapse of youth and ignorance, both my revenge and hate loosing upon thee in the name of justice, without all terms of pity. Speak! Thine answer!
Pardon, my gracious lord, for I submit my fancy to your eyes when I consider what great creation and what dole of honor flies where you bid it. I find that she, which late was in my nobler thoughts most base, is now the praised of the king. And so ennobled is, as 'twere, born so.
Take her by the hand and tell her she is thine, to whom I promise a counterpoise, if not to thy estate, a balance more replete.
I take her hand.
Good fortune and the favor of the king smile upon this contract, whose ceremony shall seem expedient on the now-born brief and be performed tonight. The solemn feast shall more attend upon the coming space, expecting absent friends. As thou lovest her, thy love's to me religious, else does err.
Do you hear, monsieur? A word with you.
Your pleasure, sir.
Your lord and master did well to make his recantation.
Recantation. My lord, my master.
Aye, is it not a language I speak?
A most harsh one, and not to be understood without bloody succeeding, my master.
Are you companion with the Count Resilian?
To any count, to all count, to what is man?
To what's counts man, counts master is of another style.
You are too old, sir. Let it satisfy you. You are too old.
I must tell thee, sirrah, I write man, to which title age cannot bring thee.
What I dare too well do, I dare not do.
I did think thee for two ordinaries. To be a pretty wise fellow, thou didst make tolerable vent of thy travels. It might pass, yet the scarves and the bannerets about thee did manifoldly dissuade me from believing thee a vessel of too great a burden. Well, I have now found thee. When I lose thee, I care not. Yet art thou good for nothing but taking up, and that thou art scarce worth.
Hadst thou not the privilege of antiquity
do
upon
not
thee?
plunge thyself too far in anger, lest thou hasten thy trial, which if, Lord have mercy on thee for a hen. Well, so my good window of lattice, fare thee well. Thy casement I need not open, for I look through thee. Give me thy hand.
My lord, you give me most egregious indignity.
Aye, with all my heart. Thou art worthy of it.
I have not, my lord, deserved it.
Yes, good faith, every dram of it, and I will not bait thee for a scruple.
Well, I shall be wiser.
No, even as soon as thou canst, for thou hast to pull at a smack at the contrary. If ever thou beest bound in thy scarf and beaten, thou shalt find what it is to be proud of thy bondage. I have this desire to hold thy acquaintance, or rather, my knowledge. If in the default I may say, this is a man I know.
My lord, you do me most insupportable vexation.
I would it were hell pains for thy sake, and my poor doing eternal. For doing I am past, as I will by thee, in what motion age will give me leave.
Well, thou hast a son shall take this disgrace off me. Scurvy, old, filthy, scurvy, Lord. Well, I must be patient. There's no fettering of authority. I'll beat him by my life if I can meet him at any convenience. And he were double and double a lord. I will have no more pity of his age than I would. I'll beat him, and if I could but meet him again.
Sirrah, thy lord and master's married! married! There's news for you. You have a new mistress.
I most unfeignedly beseech your lordship to make some reservation of your wrongs. He is my good lord, whom I serve above is my master.
Who, God?
I, sir.
The devil it is. That's thy master. Why dost thou garter thy arms up in this fashion? Dost make hose of sleeves? Do other servants so? Thou wouldst best set thy lower part where thy nose stands. By my honor, if I were but 2 hours younger, I'd beat thee. Methinks thou art a general offense, and every man should beat thee. Methinks thou wast created for men to breathe themselves upon thee.
This is hard and undeserved measure.
Oh,
my
go to,
lord.
sir. You were beaten in Italy for picking a kernel out of a pomegranate. You are a vagabond and no true traveler. You are more saucy with lords and honorable personages than your commission of your birth and virtue give you heraldry. You are not worth another word, else I'll call you knave. I leave you.
Good! Very good! It is so then. Good, very good. Let it be concealed a while.
Undone and forfeited to cares forever.
What's the matter, sweetheart?
Though before the solemn priest I've sworn, I will not bed her.
What, sweetheart?
Oh, my parolees, they've married me! I'll to the Tuscan wars and never bed her.
France is a dog hole and it no more merits the tread of a man's foot. To the wars!
There's letters from my mother, the import I know yet not.
Aye, that would be known. To the wars, my boy, to the wars. He wears his honor in a box unseen that hugs his kicky-wicky here at home, spending his manly marrow in her arms, which should sustain the bound and high curvet of Mars's fiery steed. To other regions. France is a stable, we that dwell in it, jades. Therefore, to the war.
It shall be so. I'll send her to my house, acquaint my mother with my hate for her, and wherefore I am fled, write to the king that which I durst not speak. His present gifts shall furnish me to those Italian fields, where noble fellows strike. War is no strife, compared to the dark house and the detested wife.
Will this capriccio hold in thee? Art sure?
Go with me to my chamber and advise me. I'll send her straight away. Tomorrow, I to the wars. She, her single sorrow.
Why, these balls bound. There's noise in it, 'tis hard. A young man married is a man that's marred. Therefore, away, and leave her bravely. Go. The king hath done thee wrong, but hush, 'tis so.
Peter Resnikoff.
Brian Linden.
Andrew Gillis.
Robert Lanchester.
Laura Wittenberger.
Scott Watson.
Riaz Betancourt.
Tees Jansen.
Junia Peranoyoba.
Regino Flores.
You don't have any lines. Just keep.
Oh, that's disappointing. Scott Watson, Scott Watson, Scott Watson.